Sanders?
Not in our meetings. He's not doing much, but I think everyone calls their dad and gets some advice here and there. And some people probably just watch TV and put on mute while their dad might be rambling. But my dad is pretty cool because he actually is pretty good at football and knows a lot. So I do probably listen to him a little bit more than some of our other coaches' dads.
I think your dad knows a lot. Yeah, I saw your dad when we were practicing here diagram the play that Jerry caught for the post for the touchdown. He told us on defense, this guy's going to do this guy's going to do this, and it's going to be wide open. I'll be darned. Just like he diagrammed it at practice that week, it happened.
Yeah, it's he's been great for me. I remember when I wanted to get into coaching, I wanted to be an offensive coach. I played offense my whole life, and all he told me is don't study offense, study defense. Offense will come natural. You better know what to do on defense. And that was one of the best advice he gave me. That's why when I spent 2 years at Tampa, I spent just as much time with Monty Kiffin and Tomlin and Rod Marinelli as I did John. It helped me a ton, that advice. And it's kind of how you try to do everything. You don't just put in a play to put it in. You put it in based off what the defense is doing.
We were here 25 years ago. Some things have truly changed, hasn't it?
Definitely. I mean, it's funny. I mean, there's a lot more cameras and stuff. It almost seems like the style of how everyone's dressed now is similar to back then. Everything's come full circle, but it's pretty neat to be here. I got to come out here in '94 and watch you just take over. I wore your jersey the whole week. People offered me a lot of money.
I heard that. I heard that, and that blew my mind, man. And I was smiling and giddy. You really did.
Oh, always, man. I was trying to be prime time, but I didn't have the corner skills, man. I had to go to receiver and learn how to get in and out of break just to hang with guys like you.
What advice have you given your team?
Just to be themselves. I mean, you get in this stage, and if you get too caught up in all this stuff, you'll start to make stuff up and start to worry about things that really don't matter. Our team has cut it loose and played very with a clear mind throughout the whole year. Our team's played with nothing to lose. They've been aggressive. We've had no hesitation in everything we've done. And if you sit this week and get too caught up in the wrong things, you'll hesitate. And you got nothing to lose. Everyone's going to tell you how nervous you got to be. And I can speak firsthand that, guys, I've been a part of a Super Bowl, and a lot of people blame me for a lot of stuff. And you know what? I'm still alive, and I was all right the next day. You know what I'm happy for is you go as hard as you can, you do as good as you can, and you live with the consequences. And I try to tell our team that the worst thing you could regret is not going your hardest, not selling out on something. So don't worry about failing. You just prepare the right way and be very proud that you're in this game, because not a lot of people are, and you just do as good as you can, and you can look in the mirror the rest of your life.
I know it's different titles, but is your approach different? Calling the plays, dialing it up from the previous Super Bowl?
Oh, it's always different. I mean, that doesn't have to do with a Super Bowl. That has to do with what fronts and coverages you're going against, what your O-line's like, what their defense is like, what our defense is like, what the special teams is like. I mean, every game is a different decision. Every quarter is a different decision. There's 200 things that go into that decision, but nothing have to do with a game that happened 3 years ago. It has, if we were going against the same coordinator, it would, but Belichick's not here, going against Spagnuolo on defense, and I know Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy do a great job on offense, which brings a whole new element to the game, and that's the stuff you work on all week as a coach, and in that game, all you try to do is put your players in the best position to win.
I'm sitting up here looking at it. It says you misplaced $30,000 worth of Super Bowl tickets last time you was at meeting.
I didn't get a booth like this. Last time I was sitting on something like that with everyone around me, and I had my backpack between my legs, and someone walked off with it, and it had all my family's Super Bowl tickets in it, everything, which were worth a lot of money. So I had a complete panic. I remember walking around after this ended. I was panicked, and all the Patriots were in here, and I was just trying to keep my hat low, and no one noticed me, but I was freaking out.
I talked to Sherman. He said you had nothing to do with the coach's gear that you were supposed to wear.
When I got here, they had on the white marshmallow-looking stuff for me, and I said there was no way I was wearing that, and they said that's all they had. I go, well, I promise you Andy Reid's not wearing that. So if you can promise me Andy is, I am. But once I heard he was wearing Tommy Bahama, then I knew I was good to wear my own hoodie.
I was so proud you told me the story about the hat. I was wondering, man, he's wearing the same hat. Now, I like that red hat, but you wear the same thing every game.
Well, I mean, I liked it too, but I wanted to change, and I told my wife I was going to do that, and she freaked out on me. She tells me that was the reason we're winning, so I know it's not, but I don't want to have to deal with that. If I don't wear a hat and we lose, I'll have to deal with that forever. So I'll finish it out this year. There's only one more game left.
You already have the first 25, this play script already done?
No, I don't do that yet. I soaked that into the last moment. It's really cool to get a second week. We went through all of it last week, walked through it today. We'll start over again with the players on Wednesday. It'll be pretty much the same stuff, but we'll tweak a few things out, and we know we'll come up with a few other things, but I wait till Saturday. I always either do it Friday night before I go to bed or Saturday morning when I wake up.
Proud of you, Coach. Tell your dad I love him, man.
For sure, man. Appreciate you.
Bless you.
That was the cool stuff of the night right there. You can understand why guys like playing for him. Now, he did mention he still gets a lot of the blame for what happened 3 years ago in the Super Bowl. They were up 28-3 over New England, 8.5 to go in the third quarter. New England ended up scoring 31 unanswered points, one in overtime, and everybody's wondering, Kyle Shanahan, what are you doing? I mean, that was his last game as the OC for the Atlanta Falcons. He moved on to San Francisco after that. Do you think he needs to learn something from that, Mooch, as a coach?
Well, he did learn something from that. You learn something from every win and every loss, right? Every play. That team was built differently than this team is. That was a Matt Ryan throw the ball down the field kind of team, pretty darn well. And so this team is a more run-oriented team. Is that by design? Probably. You know, I mean, if you take any pages from his dad's playbook, you know, he ran the ball very well with all the play-action passes, and that's pretty much what Kyle is doing right now. And he's having his quarterback with play-action and movements and keeps off all these runs. But yeah, of course he learned something, but he's more stubborn with the run than he was then.
Well, for me, I know what he learned is that you still have to be aggressive. And that's what he was talking about, telling his guys, cut it loose. Don't worry about failing, because you're gonna fail anyways, right? And so I remember talking with him after that, right before he got the Niners job, and he was like, look, I have to go for the juggler in this game. We're playing the Patriots. Like, I can't just run the ball. Like, we were trying to go and score points, because that's what our offense was built off of. You had Julio Jones, all these different receivers, and it wasn't like he built this team. Remember, he just came in to be the OC. Yeah. You got an opportunity now to build the San Francisco 49ers in your image, in the way you want to do things. And you've taken, your lumps throughout the years, but this team is built to play defense and run the ball. The same way the Denver Broncos were like that. When he was with his dad in Washington, it was the same way. This is their formula how to win. And, we have a coworker here who I think is one of the greatest system players there is in Terrell Davis. That was just a slight joke.
Come on.
I'm just waiting for the punchline.
He's not even here to defend himself.
He don't care. He's watching. TDA, I love you. But anyways, but when you put great players into that system, what you're seeing now, right, with George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo and Deebo Samuel and Emmanuel Sanders, you're starting to see the creativity they can get. And then with all the speed they have at running back, it's unbelievable.
A lot of speed.
Well, you mentioned that their identity really comes on the other side of the football, the defense. Here's why.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, what's up, buddy? How are you doing?
Hey, doing good, man. How about you?
Man, we're doing great, man, and I just want to take you for a minute here, Jimmy G. Jimmy, and I don't want you to put any pressure on you, but I want to tell you this, that Joe Montana and Steve Young both took home the bling thing called a ring right here in Miami. How do you plan on continuing that legacy this week?
Man, just to be mentioned in the same sentence as those two guys, it's a great honor, and it's up to our team. We gotta go take care of business this week. So it'll be a great test for us, but we're looking forward to it.
Speaking of that team, if you do win the ring, it'll be your 6th ring, tying you guys with Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. For you, how much sweeter will that make this win?
It'll, to get 6 of them as a franchise is just incredible. So anything we could do to help the organization and, just move it forward, I'm proud of this team and everything we've accomplished so far.
Okay, Jim, I see you're going to play it straight with me, huh? You're going to play it right down the line, okay? But let's just talk about that. You and I was just backstage talking about it and joking about it. You said it's a lot different this year because of than previous years when you were here in the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. Because of why?
I mean, last time I was out there, I was right in the jungle out there. So got a little more space this time. Living good right now.
So you go from being in the jungle to the #1 podium spot for your football team. That's some serious growth right there, buddy. Talk to us. Has Tom Brady reached out to you and given you any kind of advice about this week?
Yeah. He shot me a text, just good luck and everything like that, and it's just go handle business. It wasn't too complicated or anything. Just go win.
Jimmy, I often talk about a man's journey, and I like to measure a man on his journey. And you've had quite a journey. You got traded from the Patriots, and then even last season went through that horrible knee injury that kept you out all season, man. Did you think when you were down and out that you would be here playing so soon in Super Bowl 54?
You always have it in the back of your mind, and it's. I was just thinking about it the other day. It's pretty crazy. About a year ago, I was learning to run again, and so it's just how things change in a year, and what could happen. It's just this year's been a whirlwind. It's been a great time though. I've had a great time with this team.
Yeah, and I love the quarterback fraternity. I know when speaking of that injury, when you got hurt against the Kansas City Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes reached out to you. Talk to us about what does that say about the kind of man that he is?
It was awesome. Just I had never met Pat before, and so for him to come over after the game and just wish me well and everything like that, it really went a long way. And just I met him on stage again tonight, and so really cool dude, down to earth. So it's gonna be a good one.
Does that mean you're gonna take it easy on him?
It's not up to me. It's up to the defense, man.
Okay. I appreciate you taking the time, buddy. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, Mike.
All right, man.